Let me finish tonight with what events like those playing out right now in Ferguson, Missouri used to bring out in our politics. Two very different, very clear sets of reactions that broke very predictably along ideological lines. For a long time in this country, it was the left that would raise questions and concerns about the tactics and conduct of police, and it was the right that defined itself by its absolute, unwavering reverence for all things law enforcement, no matter what. And in many ways, this is the story of the creation and the rise of the modern political right, which was born in reaction to the turmoil and upheaval of the 1960s and 70s. Civil unrest in America's cities, student protesters on campuses, a crime rate that suddenly exploded out of control. It made many Americans uneasy. It made them nervous, afraid. And some of this was understandable. Who wouldn't be unsettled if the world around them suddenly became violent? But those emotions also played right into the hands of the political right, which told those fearful Americans that they could have their security, they could have their comfort, they could have their country back if we just got tough, if we stopped listening to the lawbreakers, if we stopped trying to understand them as those liberals were always trying to do. If we stopped doing that and we just cracked down firmly and unapologetically, if we did that, it would all be okay. There was a clear racial component to this. It's no coincidence that Richard Nixon and George Wallace, the segregationist Alabama governor who ran as an independent for president in 1968, that he and Nixon both ran on the same concept that year, law and order. They were talking to the same voters, the same white voters who agreed with them that the police were our friend, that they were our allies, that they were in this battle with us to protect the America that we know. And whatever the police need to do, well, that's okay with us. That was a powerful message in this country for a generation. It's how in the 1970s, Frank Rizzo went from being the police commissioner in Philadelphia to being the mayor. He called himself a tough cop. He talked about his patrolmen as an army. He bragged of the vicious and humiliating tactics his forces would employ in the name of law and order. And it made Rizzo a national folk hero on the right. It's a message that propelled Ronald Reagan. Confronted with student protests when he was governor of California, he drew the hardest of hard lines against them. If it takes a bloodbath, Reagan said, let's get it over with. No more appeasement. That was the foundation on which the modern right was built. Tough on crime, law and order, and always, always on the side of the police. But now, in the tragic shooting by police of an unarmed black teenager in Ferguson, Missouri, and in the wake of a very aggressive response by police in that city to the protesters, we're seeing a very different political reaction in this country, one that's not as predictable and neatly divided as it used to be. And that point was driven home this afternoon when Time published an essay from Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who expressed grave concern about the conduct of the police in Ferguson. The scenes of camouflaged, heavily armed officers confronting civilians, Paul wrote, resemble war more than traditional police action. There is, he added, a systemic problem with today's law enforcement. It used to be that the right never, ever questioned law enforcement. That was something for the criminal coddling liberals. But that may be changing now. Rand Paul is speaking out against the militarization of America's police. The question now is who on the right will join him. That's Hardball for now. Thanks for being with us. All In with Chris Hayes starts right now.